Welcome to video 9 on Traincontroller 10 Gold. In this episode we'll have a closer look how we can create schedules. A schedule is a trajectory where we can allocate one or more trains to, and then they will automatically drive around on that specific schedule. As an example, we are going to use this specific layout, which is actually being built as we speak. Just a couple of pictures of the track that is now being laid. There are 5 stations on this layout, and well, there are supposed to drive 10 or maybe 12 trains on this specific layout. This is how it looks in Traincontroller. It is a schematic representation of that layout that we just saw. And for this example, the idea is to have a clockwise intercity train driving from station Twinwoods to station Bedford and then driving around back to station Twinwoods. So there are only 2 stops here at Twinwoods track 1 and 2, and at Bedford track 1 and 2 we want to make a so-called scheduled stop. How can we accomplish this? This is how it looks on the layout as seen from above, driving from Twinwoods to Bedford and then around back to Twinwoods. Here we are in Traincontroller on the standard switch panel. To create new schedules we have to go to the dispatcher window, which is a tab over here. In case you don't already have that window, go to the window menu and then add a new dispatcher window. That should give you one. Once we are here, I like to add a specific schedule. We are not doing auto train or spontaneous run, which will be the subject of a future video. I like to add a new schedule. That can be done here in the schedule menu. Create a schedule. I was already in edit mode. If you would not have been in edit mode, it will warn you to go there, or it does it automatically actually. Okay, let's click this schedule, right click and properties, because I want to rename it intercity clockwise. This is going to be, and for now we are totally okay. We can change a lot of other things. That also is the subject of a future video. Right now we want just to create the routes, add all the routes and the blocks that we need for this. And to do that, oh, by the way, you see this this whole layout dimmed. In case you don't, click this icon over here, because that icon says show or hide everything. Well, why should I want to hide everything? Well, maybe you only want to see your schedule, then that is an interesting button. Right now I'm going to click another button, that's this one, that is pick from block diagram. I wonder why by default it is not always switched on, because it is really handy. I don't have to do anything in a list by hand. I can simply click on the blocks that I want to add. Let's say we want to start in Twinwoods track 1 and 2. A start means I have to make it a start point, because we are driving clockwise. The start is pointing to the right or the east. I also want this to be my end point, so I also click this destination icon, and I also do that for track number 2. A start and a destination is in this particular block. What we need to do now is select the next block. Well, that next block is going to be this one, mid 1. The question is, why doesn't it select automatically the route? Well, it will, but it only does if we click this block first, the start for that route, and then this block second. Look, now it automatically added the route. You can also click on the route. Let me do it over here. Click on the route, and that will also give you that route. You need to add the blocks and the routes for your schedule to work. And be careful, because if you forget one of these routes, then you are in trouble later. Okay, let's do it again. I click mid 1 and then east 1. Yeah, it also adds the route. I now click Bedford 1, it adds that route. Click Bedford 2, it does not add that route. I can add it by hand. Or I like it, it's much nicer to just click once at the start and then at the destination, because then it will always work. It will always add the correct route. By the way, if you really run in trouble, you can always click over here, Routes in Schedule. There you have all the routes that are available in this layout, and you can click on the name of a route to add it, and you can also delete it by just pressing the delete button. Don't click on the icon, by the way, because if you do that, then what we see is you activate the route. That is not what you want. You want to click on the route to add it or delete it. So this is your fallback scenario. If you cannot get it done here in the graphic interface, simply go to the Routes in Schedule list and add all the routes you need. Let's move on from West 1 to Northwest 1. I don't know why it's called Northwest. It seems Southwest to me, but okay. And then from here to South 1. And then from South 1 back to Twinwoods 1. And also from South 1 to Twinwoods 2. This seems like a perfect clockwise double around trajectory, and that is what we are going to work with. Now we also want to have a scheduled stop at the station. We have to make sure that that is going to happen. Double click on the track, and then over here we can add a waiting time. Well, for testing purposes, I always take 5 seconds, because then it doesn't wait too long, but you at least will see that it works okay. And later, of course, you can make this number any number you like a couple of minutes even, if you like that. So we have now 5 second stops over here. The other blocks we don't want to stop. Maybe the train will stop if it cannot move on, but that is fully automatic. But in Bedford we want to have a scheduled stop again. So let me add 5 seconds here. If I click this icon, a multiple edit icon, I can immediately, without clicking OK, I can go on, click Bedford 2 and add the time over there too. That is quite handy, but don't forget, after you have edited 10 of these blocks, don't forget to click OK, otherwise you lose all your work. What have we accomplished now? If I would put a train on here, it will drive from Twinwoods to Bedford, make a stop there and drive back to Twinwoods again. Let's try it out. Oh, before we start to try it out, let's now click again on this icon where we talked about a couple of minutes ago. Look what happens, it takes away the whole layout, and that sometimes can make it easier to see exactly what you are having right now for this particular schedule. Because with the whole layout even dimmed, it can look a bit cluttered. So it can sometimes be handy to take that dimmed part away and see what you really have. Let's put a train on it. The trains are over here. We already have an intercity clockwise. Let me put one over there. We also have another intercity clockwise. Let me put it over there. Why not? And yeah, we should be able to start this schedule now. Let's take off the edit mode, and then we will have a little look, intercity clockwise, right click and start. It should end up here in the list of schedules. Yeah, well, it does, but it adds only one. Why is that? Well, because we only started it once. I can simply start it again. Start, yeah, there we go. And it does not add a second one here in the list. So we are in trouble. Let's find out what is the trouble. Well, in this case, the trouble is hidden in the rules of this schedule. I'm going to edit mode. It says it's going to stop all the trains, that's fine. Let's go to the properties and then the rules of this schedule. The rules tab is over here, and see what is over here. Only select trains in start blocks, which are these blocks over here. By default that is ticked on. I don't want it. I want any train that is on this trajectory to start when I start the schedule. And later in the train stop, if there are also cargo trains and whatever is going on, in the train stop I'm going to tell exactly which two intercity clockwise trains I want to use. So in the rules I want to take out the start block tick, and while I'm here I want to set the train may stay in start block. That means it will start the schedule even if the route ahead is still blocked. It will simply wait until the route gets free, and that means that it will always put that schedule here in the list. Let's start it again now that we have made these edits. Let's take out the edit mode. Okay, I'm starting once, start, yeah, there it is in the list, and now I will start it again, and yes, look over there, it is over there in the list. Well, we can now start the simulator. Yeah, the layout is not even yet finished, so we are only in simulation mode. And we can see that we have two trains running. We have these colors here. The clockwise are red and orange. Those are the colors that we gave to these specific trains. Let's go to the standard switchboard, see how it looks there. Well, yeah, that is all looking okay. Look what we have prepared over here. A switch button for starting the intercity clockwise two trains. Why did I not use that? Well, because we have to create this button and see what we need to do to start a schedule. That will be the subject of a future video. But for now we see that the trains are happily running around. This one is already here almost at the station. Going to stop, it has a red signal. This one has a green signal. It's now already over there. It's going to make its round to Twinwoods. Well, let's wait until it is there. By the way, we can see here the trains on the move. I could of course here put intercity clockwise in. Oh, I already had that. This one intercity clockwise. Then we can see both these trains having their speeds. Well, this is it, how to create a schedule. There's much more to discuss with these schedules, because one of the things that will happen if the train has arrived, as we can see now over here at Twinwoods, it takes out the schedule. Yeah, it has finished its schedule. We did not tell it where to go next, and that is of course not what we want. We want to start a schedule and want these two trains to drive infinitely on this schedule. Also, that is the subject of a future video. In the meantime, have fun.